Hi, Taylor.
Hi.
I think there are 4 American women into the 16s now. If Coco wins tonight, it would be 5. Just kind of what are your thoughts on that, and how does it feel to kind of be part of that group going into the 16s?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I mean, it just shows the depth. I mean, Christy Ahn, who is a wild card, and I think this was her second time, or first maybe debut playing in the U.S. Open. So, I mean, I think it's amazing. I think that everybody's journey should be highlighted, just not when you're doing well. Yeah. But I think that is amazing, and I'm really happy to be a part of it.
Thanks.
After such an emotional win in the last round, how tough was it to sort of manage those emotions and come back and play again?
Yeah, it was tough. I was like, I've never been through that before. I mean, I made it to the 3rd round of the French before, but it's different being in France versus being in America. And so, like I said, I got a lot of texts and a lot of stuff. I mean, it was weird. But honestly, like, my coach and my friends did a good job of, like, just keeping me centered. And like I said yesterday, I mean, I was really glad that I was able to play doubles just to keep me on track and keep me in my rhythm of being out on the court, doing your routines, doing what you have to do, and keeping you, like, in that competitive state of mind and in that competitive mind frame. And we played well and we got a win, so that's always good going into your singles match as well.
Taylor, we ran this video on U.S. Open now of you in 2014. You're about to play Serena, and you went out and interviewed people. Do you remember that?
Unfortunately, I looked a mess.
You handled it really well. I guess I'm curious. You were 18 then.
Yeah.
What that Taylor would think of all of what you've been through and what you've been able to do this week getting into the fourth round.
That Taylor is in the garbage. The hair, all of it, gotta go. But needless to say, yeah, I mean, I just think, like I said the other day, it just attests to the growth and the beauty of the sport of having consistent people around for years, being able to track people's progress, how they come through the sport. I mean, you get media attention from such a young age, like Coco, 15, 14 years old, even 13 from getting to the finals of the Junior U.S. Open. So, I mean, you're able to kind of follow these players through so many years, and you never know when things are going to happen. You continue to work and you continue to kind of pluck away, and some people's paths and some people's, ultimately their journey, everyone's journey is different, you know, and some people's happens quicker than others. Mine took, 6, 7 years, and, you know, I feel better than ever before. So, I mean, I'm just thankful for where I am now and kind of the things that I had to go through in order to be here and appreciate where I am.
And when are you going to stop coming into net?
Never.
One question, please, David.
Yeah, Taylor, speaking of that, it seemed like today was a similar game plan. Is it just a testament to how clear you're feeling on court that it goes from something that you're capable of doing to being the primary sort of plan on the court?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it definitely showed against Halep that it works. You know, I played my first round and I definitely didn't come in as much, but I was doing it and I was trying to be a little bit more cognizant of it. But once I saw that it worked and, you know, the effectiveness that I had, you know, I tried to implement it as much as I could. I got past, she hit good shots, but, you know, it's just something that when you play this game style is just a part of it and you just kind of have to keep plugging away. And I think that's the hardest part. But, I mean, honestly, I just go into it and try to deal with each player that I have and each opponent that I have and what would be the best strategy in order for me to win.
Taylor, hi. Does it seem kind of surreal? Ellen DeGeneres, Samuel L. Jackson, Kobe Bryant, these are the type of people who are tweeting about you.
I know.
What goes through your head with that?
Oh, my God. I lost my mind when, like, the Kobe thing happened because I love him just from an athletic.
Everyone loves you.
Yeah. Just from an athletic point of view, I appreciate so much, like, what he brought to the game of basketball, but just in athletics in general. But, yeah, I mean, Ellen and all of these, like, it's insane, honestly. I mean, like, being on a social media sabbatical, like, a few months ago to, like, getting, like, 10,000 followers, like, overnight is weird. But, but honestly, like, I'm thankful for it. And, you know, I wouldn't have it any other way. And I know that it's a part of the territory. And I love it. I'm embracing it.
I'd like to, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, go.
It's 2 bills?
Congratulations.
Thanks.
I'd just like to have you reflect on your serve and volley style. After all, I mean, thousands of players have played this game over the years, and yet you're really a kind of pioneer. Does that give you real satisfaction? And is it tough when you get passed again and again? Just go into a little bit more depth about that and put it in perspective, please.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say I'm a pioneer, but I mean, I've always been this kind of person where I wanted to, not wanted to, but I always felt like I stood out, like I did stuff differently than the rest. And I was that way as a kid, just forever, you know. But yeah, I mean, Martina Navratilova was like my idol in terms of game style because I just loved how she was on the court, her energy, what she brought to the equation. She made it so interesting to watch tennis, and it was more than just hitting a ball. You know, it was emotion, it was passion, and you know, I always loved watching her play. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely tough because not a lot of people do it, and it is kind of like a mental thing because the game moves so fast now. That is where you have to just say, all right, like it's part of the territory, you know. I mean, tennis is a game where you win and lose points constantly. And it's just about how you manage those things and you manage how you get past. You can come back, you can hit a great serve, a good volley, and it kind of balances itself out. So you just try to bounce back the best that you can and just try to continue to pluck away. And it's just about how you manage that on court.
All the way back.
Taylor, congrats again.
Thanks.
You are obviously very confident in your game right now. Following up on the serving and volleying and chipping and charging, you also seem to problem solve really well out there, right? So in that first set, maybe you tried to come in like a lot in the beginning and then you saw you were getting passed. How impressed are you and how proud are you of where your game's come in terms of problem solving and knowing when to come in and knowing, okay, I can hit from the baseline for a little bit and then come in at this point?
Yeah, well, I just think that, you know, tennis is 90% mental, 95% mental. So, I mean, forever I've heard the analogy that it's like chess, and chess is very strategic and analytical, and you have to understand like what's happening out on the court. And, you know, it's about adjustments. I mean, like I said, you win and lose points constantly. So you have to kind of see what's happening and do make that adjustment. And, you know, I can serve and volley. It's a strength of mine. But if I have to be able to stay back and rally and work myself into the point, then I can do that as well, which is great. So, you know, you do make those adjustments, and she was playing really well. She was returning very well in the beginning. So I did have to kind of make those adjustments, and eventually as the match progressed and I kind of got more confident, then I was able to kind of work my way back into serving and volleying first and second serves and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, it's just about, you know, using your brain up there. It's there for a reason, right?
Have you felt any of that thing people feel sometimes when they go through a long struggle they wouldn't have preferred but wind up glad they went through it because it had value?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I said it the other day, I was like, I wouldn't change anything because I appreciate so much where I am because I know where I came from. And I think like it's easy for people to forget where they came from. But I mean, I remember when I was grinding qualies of 25s, when I quit tennis for 3 days. That's how long I lasted. But when my ranking went from 90 to 400 literally over the course of a day. So I went from being main draw of slams to qualies of 25s and like losing. I mean, I went 1 year and I won 4 matches in a calendar year. So, I mean, I understand and I'm appreciative of where I am and the growth that I've made because you're able to kind of say this is where I came from and be able to not go through those same things again, and you can kind of learn from your mistakes and move on.
Tara has doubles, you have time for 2 more. 1, 2.
There feels like in this tournament, you're part of it, sort of a wave of young women of color showing up in tennis, really boxing people's ears. And we're about a generation past when the Williams really sort of taking over. The see it, be it thing, does that apply to you as well, or is yours more you're here because your mother played tennis? How does that affect you and the young people?
I can't speak for other people. I can only speak for myself. But, I mean, yeah, when you see people that look like you in a sport and you have representation, it gives you hope that, you know, that can be you. I mean, I think in tennis, we have had Venus and Serena for a really long time, and they're from America as well, so it kind of gives you that perspective. But in other sports, there's more representation in basketball and football, baseball, of different ethnicities doing, things like that. But, I mean, ultimately, I don't think that it comes down to anything with color or race or where you're from or anything like that. It's just about your exposure and, how you invest in yourself in the sport and how much you love it and your passion. But I'm thankful and appreciative for the people who have pioneered from the years prior. And I don't think, Venus and Serena have done amazing things, but, I was wearing an Althea Gibson shirt the other day. She was like the OG. So, I think that it's many generations of people who have kind of paved the way. And, I don't think that we should just specify it to just color. I think it's a lot of other elements that go into it as well.
Okay, last question.
You have a game that's not like too many other people. Is there any current player or past player who's given you a compliment that really meant a lot to you?
Well, Rafa just said well done, so I was like, geez. Yeah, but, honestly, there's so many people that have just kind of been super just saying congratulations, and just sending me really nice messages. And honestly, like I said, I was shocked because I didn't really think that many people, cared. You know what I mean? But it's amazing to just see that the tennis community, quote unquote, is watching and embracing and appreciating something that's not the norm. There are people that get into the second week easily of a slam and stuff, do it every slam or every Masters event. But this is my first, and it's really amazing, and I appreciate it. And so much love to the people who have just come up to me and just said thank you and appreciating the things that I've done. They didn't have to do that, they went out of their way, so I appreciate it.